and I'm really excited about this one. So this one's very different, and I think a few of you know, if you are coming back to my channel, that a lot of changes have happened over the last couple of weeks, and it's going to keep changing like this, and I'm going to keep bringing this kind of content out. So if that's your thing, then great, stick around. If it's not, then that's totally cool. You can unsubscribe and move on. So I know that a lot of the things I'm getting into are a little bit controversial to some, and some people just aren't comfortable with it, and that's totally cool. If you're not, then that is fine. Really, it is. You got to do what feels right for you. So I am going to give it a couple more seconds to get a few more of you on here. So you guys can say hello, and I can say hello to you. Hello, Lundy. Lundy is from South Africa, so congratulations on your wedding. You had your wedding, didn't you? I think recently. I know you've been engaged for a long time, but then you finally got married? Or I'm pretty sure I saw that you did. Congratulations if you did. I hope I didn't get that wrong. Hey Sandra, so good to see you on here. So I am having some coffee this morning. I only got up an hour ago. I was supposed to go to boot camp this morning, but that didn't work out because Vinny and I ended up doing like a Harry Potter marathon, and we only went to bed at 2 a.m. this morning. So I was like, oh my god. And then poor Vinny had to wake up for work at 5 a.m. So I woke up with him, said goodbye, packed his lunch and all that stuff, and then I went back to bed. I was like, hell no, I am not going to boot camp today, but I will go tomorrow. So I have my days usually set. Well, not usually. This is the first week of boot camp, and I missed out on the first day, but it's okay. It's okay. So I was going to go Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So this time I'm going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday because I missed today, which means I'll make up for it tomorrow. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I've paid for it. I'm holding myself accountable, and I'm going to do it. It's one of those things that you just have to do, because one of my last new moon wishes was to have a better relationship with exercise. So instead of telling myself how much I hate exercise, I'm trying to transform that into something like how much I enjoy exercise because of how it makes me feel afterwards. Alrighty. Hey Leslie. Hey Karen. Hey Gail. Cool. So nice to have you on here, Anya. Lundy says, yes, I did get married 11th of September, and big congratulations to you, Anthony. Thank you so much. We secretly got married on the 30th of August, and then we had a engagement party afterwards, and then we announced it to the rest of the family that we were actually married. So that was super fun and exciting, and it was amazing. Okay, so there's a few of you on here. Welcome. If you haven't said hello, say hello. I'd love to say hello to you guys. And yeah, I hope everyone's having a really good day. So it is Monday morning, 9 a.m. my time. How cute is my mug? So I made this mug, and they called porcelain pens. Well, I didn't make the mug, I decorated the mug, let's say. So they called porcelain pens, which I'm not sure what it's made of, but you can draw on your cup with it, and then you just bake it in the oven for 35 minutes the next day. And then, yeah, you can wash it and everything, and it stays on. It's so nice. So I made myself like a loving cup, and it has a couple of words on it like kindness, love, safe, awareness, share, infinity, friends, connection, and live. And one. I think that's all the words. And yeah, so the reason I did that is the book that we busy with in book club is called A Course in Weight Loss, which is a spiritual book. It's not about food or weight, but it's more about what the real reason is for you holding on to weight. Anyways, and part of the book is where you create an altar space. So you buy yourself a brand new cup and a brand new plate and a brand new bowl and a knife and fork and a glass, and you make this space a loving spiritual space, and you're only allowed to put food in there that is kind to you, food in there that's going to be good for your body, that your body is comfortable with. So it's just a space that consciously makes you aware of what you're eating. And it's so funny because it really works, because I have this really cool bowl and plate and cup now, and I don't want to contaminate it with rubbish. So I want to keep it like pure in a sense. So and then the space looks so nice. I light a candle there, I put a nice little quote on a tiny chalkboard that I have on there, and I light some incense, and I just make a thing out of it, and it makes eating food a little bit more exciting and a little bit more caring towards yourself. So I really love that part of the book. I think it's really, really interesting way to look at it. Anyways, we're not talking about book club, but that is book club. If you are interested though in joining the book club, so what I did is the last book we did was Moonology, and I put all those videos out on my YouTube channel so people can see what book club is like and what it's sort of about. So I record videos with my with how I feel about certain chapters. So I might break the book down into 2 or 3 videos, and like if there's any practical things that you need to do in the book, then I might do that. For example, like the altar for this book, or like the last book, we had to write down our new moon wishes or create an artwork from the wishes and stuff like that. So then I would do that, and I put a video in it, and then at the end, once we've all read the book, we have what you call a Zoom hangout. So Zoom hangout is where I send the book club members a link to a meeting room in a platform called Zoom. It's free, and we can all see each other's faces and hear each other's voices and have a conversation in real time with each other about the book, which was the most epic experience I've ever had, because the amount of times that I'm on YouTube, I get to know your names slowly but surely, but I don't actually have that interaction with you apart from the chat. And also because there's so many of you at the chat on the same time, it's not like I can really pay attention to someone individually, if you know what I mean. So it makes it harder for me to get to know you guys. So with the Zoom thing and the book club thing, it was so much easier to actually interact with some of you that have been following me for a while and get to know you. And I felt like after that first book club hangout, I was totally friends with everybody that was there. It's the kind of friends that I would message in Facebook randomly if I want to talk to them or say hello or whatever it is. It's just one of those things where once you make that connection with someone where you were able to, it was literally like being in the same room. So once you have that click and that connection, it makes your relationship with people different, which is really what I want to be able to do with everyone that's a part of the book club, or the Seeker's Portal is what I call it. And it's so much more rewarding and fulfilling to have that interaction instead of just talking and talking. Like right now, I know I'm talking and you guys aren't able to talk back, or you are in the chat, but I can't see you or hear you. So I really like the whole idea about being able to see and hear you guys while we all discuss book club. And those videos are only for subscribers. So the video that you see of what the book club was like from Moonology on my YouTube video, that's the only one that's going to be on there. I'm not going to put any of the other videos on there. So what is in book club stays in book club sort of thing is going to happen. So the Moonology one was only on my YouTube channel so that people can get an idea of what book club is like. But otherwise it's just going to stay in the Seeker's Portal. So the Seeker's Portal, if anyone's wondering, the link is in the description. You can just subscribe for as little as $1 a month. It's a pay what you can subscription, so whatever you can afford, you can pay. So a $1 subscriber will get the exact same content as a $10 subscriber, for example. So you do what feels good for you, or just do $1 and try it out and see if it's something you like. If you don't like it, then you can unsubscribe. If you like it, then continue onwards. That's fine. But we have the book club in there, and we have a couple of other hangouts. So that's the space where we can all hang out and interact and talk to each other. So we also had a really cool hangout where we spoke about our new moon wishes. So we had the new moon a week ago, and we hung out, and I did that really cool, freaky artwork of mine, and we got to discuss our new moon wishes. And what was so great is when we did discuss our new moon wishes in the Zoom hangout, we realized how many of us, almost makes it so much easier to face it, to just deal with it, and also to realize that You are so not alone. It's so weird how many times we're like, oh my God, I experienced the same thing, or I know exactly what you mean. I'm going through that right now, or I had a dream about that, or whatever it is. It's like we're making all these connections with each other and we're just like blown away. It's just insane. So I'll give you a quick look at the artwork that I did. The finished result. I need to do a video on this one alone because there's a lot going on here, but I don't think I'm going to do a video on this one until next year because yeah, I feel like when a couple of things that are going to happen, only once they've happened, I think I'm going to be able to openly discuss it on YouTube, discuss the artwork, but it's a bit reflective. Let me take it out of the sleeve. But the end result is amazing. This is my favorite artwork ever done. So we've got these cool forests. It's backwards, I think. I'm sorry about that. Got the forest here in the night sky. We've got the alchemy symbol over here. Now the reason I have the alchemy symbol here is because of a name that I like. So it's not because I'm gonna practice alchemy or anything like that. And then we've got a little boy over here, and we've got a little girl in the middle there. So and she's linked to a lunar moth, and yeah, the trees are linked together, and then the middle part is like a pendant with our initials, and it's just like a very personal, deep artwork of mine that I have just fallen in love with, and I will go into detail about that another time, but not today. Okay, so that's what the Seeker's Portal is about and all that jazz. So let's get on to today's video. So today's video is about a dream that I had a while back and an artwork that I've done a while back, but I haven't up until now had the opportunity or the feeling to like really talk about it. And I think one thing I'm becoming very aware of is the music has stopped. Excuse me. So one thing I'm becoming very aware of is that I'm trying to go off of the way I feel about things more now than what I did before. So with that artwork that I did a while ago, and some of you would have seen it when I did it. I posted it on Instagram and stuff. Let me just see your comments quickly and say hello before I continue. Hey Gail, I think I said hello to Gail, I'm not sure. Karen Kirsty, hello. Hey Yells. A couple of you guys have been on here before, so it's so nice to see you back. Kathleen, hello. Watch It says, congrats to all and hi. Haven't been here in a minute. Cry. Can you only be here for a minute? Is that what you're trying to say? Or you haven't been here before? I'm not sure. But welcome anyways. Hey Eric, welcome back. Robin, hello. So Robin and Sandra are part of the book club. So if you guys want to know something about it, you can ask them about it as well. Robin, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to make you a moderator if that's cool. Just to keep track. And yes, awesomeness. Sandra, I might make you one too. Because my usual moderators are not on today. Radio. So hey guys, welcome. So nice to have you on here. So the dream, so this is my dream journal, which needs a bit of work. Like it's looking very full and sad and just like, yeah, it's just crazy. And I've been sticking my dreams into the book, and then I would keep a page free to write notes or whatever. But this is not working for me. I need to find a better way to do this, because yeah, what I do to remember my dreams, so this is probably something I need to cover first. What I do to remember my dreams is I dream every night, but when I'm woken up abruptly by the dogs most of the time, or if I have to go up and go to the bathroom, by the time I come back, I've forgotten what I've dreamt. And the dogs, if I get woken up abruptly, then I forget what I've dreamt. So it's almost like I need to wake up at my own pace for me to remember, or I need to wake up with a nice gradual alarm. So there's this cool app called Pillow, I think it's called. Yes, it's called Pillow, and it has like a little purple pillow symbol with some dots on it, and you can set your alarm. If you sleep with your Apple Watch, which I don't because it's not very comfortable. If you sleep with your Apple Watch, or if you sleep with your phone on the bed, which I also don't like, you can track your sleep patterns, like REM sleep and all that sort of stuff. I'm not too fussed about that. All I want is an alarm that like gradually wakes you up. So it's an alarm that can, a couple of minutes before your actual alarm time, it starts off really, really quietly, and it has this really cool mellow meditative tone, and then it gradually gets a bit louder until you're awake. And that's like a smooth way of waking up. So when I wake up like that, then and I hear that sound, I start paying attention, because I'm coming back to my conscious wake time. And because I'm consciously aware of the fact that I'm starting to wake up, I'm also aware of the fact that I want to remember my dreams. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm still close enough to that state to remember what I've been through in my dream. So by the time my alarm goes off, I'm awake, I remember my dream, and I type it into my phone in my notes, like immediately. I don't even give it any time between that. I just put it in immediately, because even if I had to wake up and go to the bathroom first and then put it in, I still tend to forget a lot of it. So it's almost like something I need to do straight away. As soon as I wake up, I need to write them down. If I don't, then I forget. So I do that on my phone. I put the notes on my phone. My notes are linked to the notes on my Mac, so they sync. So then I just copy my dream and fix the dreamy, sleepy, like spelling mistakes and stuff. And then I put it into my dream journal. And then I print the page and I try and stick it in here. But this is not working. I'm so far behind. I've had so many more dreams in this to stick in here, and I haven't. So I'm just sort of keeping them in a PDF or like book on my computer, and I see it there. But I really want like a hard copy of it, so I need to figure out how I'm gonna do that. Okay, so that's my dream journal, and the dream that I'm focusing on was one that I had on the 30th of June this year. Yes, so it was Saturday the 30th of June, and this is, see, half of their dreams are falling out. So I got the dream over here, and I've got my notes about the dream, and then I have a different journal. Okay, I need to keep up with the comments a bit sooner. Lundy says, love the mug. Thank you so much. I love it too. I love how you guys all say hello to each other. Robin, all it means, if you're a moderator, it just means that if a troll might pop on with a narky comment, then you'll be able to delete that comment if you see it before I do. So that's all it is. Gail says, wow, that's not easy to do, not for me anyways. Are you talking about the the new moon artwork or about the dreams? Bob says, hey everyone, just stop by before I need to leave for family dinner. No worries. Welcome, Bob. Thank you. Robin says, I have the same problem. I have multiple dreams, but when I get sidetracked, I only remember bits and pieces. Yeah, that's right. So when I get like really into it, like I swear I've got some of these dreams are really long. So like this one, for instance, is three different dreams. So each paragraph is its own dream, and I remember all of them from the same night. So it's so cool when you can, if you wake up properly and you pay attention, you can remember all these different aspects. Oh, look at this. This was crazy dreaming happening over here. So yeah, it's fascinating. So, and then when you start dreaming like this and you start collecting all these dreams, you're like, I want to do something with these dreams. Surely there's more to these dreams than what I'm thinking, because I'm like, why am I dreaming so much? There must be a reason. Well, I think that way anyways. There must be a reason. You're dreaming these things, you're getting all this guidance, and you are just ignoring it. Do something with it. So I was like, oh, well, I want to change my art direction. And then I was like, all my dreams were just like telling me, go this way, go this way, go this way. And then when I started reading my own cards as well, I got a beautiful deck of oracle cards, and I started, drawing cards for myself. I drew the first card that I drew out of my deck was called the Dreamer, and it said that now is the time that I need to follow my dreams and my dream path. And then the second time I drew from the deck and I shuffled it really well, I drew the exact same card, and I was like, well, it doesn't get any more obvious than this. And I picked my deck of cards from a dream. So it was like the craziest experience ever. So where are they? Actually, I'll show you what they look like and I'll tell you the dream. Okay, so this is my deck, and it's called The Art of Love Tarot. And so on the cover, you've got a sun, and you've got these butterflies, and you've got this beautiful tree, and it's like the same tree is in there, just smaller, and then in the center you've got the heart instead of the butterfly. So it's like, just like a smaller version of it. So I had, oh my gosh, when did I have that dream? Because I might just read it to you. You know what would be cool is a calendar where it's like a dream calendar. So you put the dream in on the day on the calendar, and then you can search that way. So I think I may have. Actually stuck a picture in there. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Who knows how long it's going to take for me to... Ah, yeah, I got it. So it was on the 12th of June. I had a dream about... I was around a girl my age, and she looked exactly like me. She didn't trust me or like me, and she didn't trust me or like me. The need to build. I felt the need to build. Okay, so I just wrote this in keywords. Okay, I remember the dream. So I was in a room with a girl, and there were bunk beds in the room, and the girl looked exactly like me, like twin version of me, except she didn't know me at all, and she seemed very distrusting of me and weary of me. And so I decided that I wasn't going to be like too pushy towards her. So I went and I laid on the top bunk, and I was just lying there looking at the ceiling. And then she was making something at the desk in the room. And when she was done, she gave it to me. And it was a butterfly. And you know those like sun stickers that you create? So it's like a gel thing, and then you can stick it on your your windows or something, and it's colorful. It's like, I think we call it sun stickers or something like that. So it was a butterfly sun sticker that she gave me. And that was her way of showing that she's going to try and get to know me and be more trusting of me. So I was very, very grateful for the butterfly, and I accepted the butterfly. That was the dream. And then at the time of this, at the time of the dream, I was reading a book about the tree of life. And then this was during reading the book, and then I sat in bed on my iPad. Vinny was night shift, I had the dogs with me, and I was like, I really, really want to try cards, but I wouldn't even know where to begin to pick a deck of cards. So I sat there and I just like meditated on it for a little bit, and I was like, asked my guides, and I just sort of just like had a prayer in my mind and said, please help me find a deck of cards. I really want to find them, and I want to find them right now. So I went onto Google and I typed in, I don't even know what I typed in, but I looked at this website that had all these different decks. And the top deck of cards was this one. And it had a butterfly in the sun, and it had the tree. So I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. That is the deck for me. And I wonder if I can actually show you the first card that I drew, the Dreamer. So I haven't even, how much time have we gone into this now? 28 minutes, and I haven't even gotten into this dream. But that's okay. That's okay. We're just chatting. Where art thou? The art in these cards are just crazy amazing. I should probably show you some of these. So I'll just like briefly go through them, and when I find the one that's mine, it'll be funny if it's at the top. No, that's the main card, or like the same card as the cover. Where are you hiding? There you are. That's the one. So that's the one that I kept Page of Trees. It's very reflective. Let's try and move that light away. It's sort of working, but not. It looks very bright. Anyways, the Page of Trees, and it's called the Dreamer. So that's the one that I kept drawing twice. It was the first one I drew out of the deck. So I was like, wow, that's insane. So, okay. So that was off topic. But anyways, let's... Hey, Esme! Hey, Diane! Karen says, I used to keep a spiral-bound notebook like kids use for school. I dated when I was going to sleep, and sometimes it was writing, but about half the time there was drawings, either with or without words. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah, my dad actually told me, because my dad he's like a math genius. Like, he's amazing at math and formulas and all that sort of stuff. And he's told me that his best ideas, or the time where he would like really find the answers to most things, would be either in a dream, or it would be he would wake up in the middle of the night and he'd just have an answer and he'd write it down. So I was like, wow, that's cool. So it's like, wait, where do these things come from? So we have it hidden in our subconscious all the time, and then maybe these dreams just allow us to access it sometimes. Gail says, I have really crazy nonsensical dreams. Me too, but they are the best dreams. It's like crazy Alice in Wonderland kind of dreams, right? I know they are so much fun. I love having those kinds of dreams. And you're just jumping from one to another to another. A child, a boy, a girl, 9, 10, whatever age. I've been a black man before. I've been I've been an old man before. I've been celebrities, or not been celebrities, but I often dream of celebrities. But I don't dream of me in my body, in this body. So it's weird. Most of the time I dream, I'm not dreaming in this form. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't know what it means yet, but I don't. Robin says, Karen, she's talking to Karen. One way of getting rid of all your worries of the day is to lie in bed, put pen to paper without looking, and just write what comes to your mind. What comes to your mind sounds like what you are doing. Yes, it does sound like that is what you are doing, Karen. And it is. It's cool sometimes just to let go and allow things to just flow. Esme says, it's so interesting to hear about your dreams. I know, very different, isn't it? I'm having an almond latte, if anyone's wondering. It is divine. I allow myself a nice treat like this every day. An almond milk latte. Usually I have black coffee. Hey Maureen! Gail says she dreams of celebrities too, quite often. Like I'm best buddies with them. That's so cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's get into the dream that I had to do with this. Okay, so I'll put the artwork up. So it's this one, and it's called The Seeker. And I'm gonna put my glasses on. My eyes are killing me actually. It's called The Seeker, and I'll explain why I called it The Seeker in a second. Okay, so the dream. I'm just going to read it off my computer. So this was dreamed on Saturday the 30th of June. And for those that are interested, the moon was, in that night, the moon was a waning gibbous moon in Aquarius. So waning gibbous moon almost looks like a full moon. But so you've had the full moon and it's starting to get smaller. Not smaller, you know what I mean. So it's starting to go towards the next new moon. So that's what it is. It's just after the full moon is the waning gibbous moon. So that was what the moon was in at the time. And the dream is, we were 3 women living together. We all 3 had different ages. We were very close like sisters, and we always made all our decisions together. We decided to adopt a young girl aged about 12. She was special and had a Spanish aunt looking after her. When I say special, she was talented. Like she had something about her that was remarkable. We met them at a busy place in town to sign the adoption papers. The girl seemed very shy, and I could tell that there was more to her that meets the eye. She was very powerful with vibrant energy. We wanted to teach her how to use it. We signed the papers and we took her and her aunt to look at the house and the girl's new room. The aunt and her friend left and the girl got to stay with us. It was her first night. She was shy and we were very respectful of her space, so made sure not to bombard her. We had a lot of friends. One of our friends was asking for advice and support for some idea she was considering selling to the government. It would get her a lot of money. The first night had passed and the girl's aunt and aunt's friend came back to check on her. She was very happy and her birth name, the girl was very happy. The girl's birth name was Maskarovka. So, I'll get to that. So, Maskarovka. The aunt was also happy to leave her with us, and that was her final visit. So myself and my friends had a midnight lunch under the stars, and we spoke about how amazing Maskarovka was. I said to them that I called her babe twice because I forgot her name. We were all happy to have her live with us. We were her guardians. So that was the dream. So it sounds like a very simple, non-crazy, weird dream or anything like that. It sounds very simple, but for some reason I was like really, really drawn to this dream, and I needed to I needed to create something from it. And I don't even know how it turned into this. Like it's because, you know, you listen to the dream and I think you sort of get the idea of why the artwork looks like this, but it's something that I think I will just explain. So another thing that I took note of at the time, let me just get the dream back here. Another thing I took note of at the time, because I was really getting into crystals and herbs and things like that. So I actually just picked a crystal and I picked a flower and I picked an oil, and I just like randomly picked these oils, all these things. So the oil that I picked was balsam of Peru, and I'll get to the meanings of those next. The flower that I picked was a clematis flower. Now, I saw this flower, I don't even know where I saw it, if I saw it on Facebook or where I saw this flower, but that's how I learned about the flower. I saw it and I thought, it's a beautiful flower, I like it, I'm going to pick it. So I just made a note to write it down. So I wrote the name of the flower down. The stone that I picked was a desert rose. And I have some desert rose crystals, but they... on the other side, I was meaning to take them out. The stone I picked was desert rose. So those are just the 3 extra things that I picked from it. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. So the reason, so that's an easy explanation. So you've got the desert rose. So just above the girl's head, above her wing, there looks like there's a pink rose there. So that's a representation of the desert rose crystal. And the flowers around her are a clematis flower. So that's why they're there. The star sign in the sky is Aquarius, and the moon there is not quite a full moon, but it almost looks like a full moon. So that's just a representation of the moon on the night that I had the dream. And the zodiac sign that the moon was in at the time of the dream. So that's why those elements are in there. Okay, so I think that's pretty easily explained. So let me just see your comments before I carry on. Hi Cassandra, welcome. Hey Susan. Susan also dreams that she's other people as well, in other worlds. Yes, I had the coolest dream of being a complete different species, and that was like insanely cool. I don't know if I was like, I feel like it was like more like a merfolk kind of thing happening, and I don't know if maybe my brain was totally influenced by Magic the Gathering, because Vinny and I have been playing Magic the Gathering cards like crazy for a couple of months now, and I know there's a merfolk deck in there, and I dreamt that I was something similar to that. So it may just be too much Magic the Gathering happening there, but it was cool. It was really cool. Robin asked what kind of other worlds. Okay, I'll read that quickly. Susan said, one is an island with mountains. I am always hiking up high enough that I can see the people in a procession below. One is a high school. I'm a student who keeps forgetting to go to my history class. That's so cool. It's so weird, these dreams. Like, it would be so cool to figure out what they mean to us. Okay. Cool. So something else I want to mention quickly is dreams. Like, people are like, well, how do you go about interpreting your dreams? Or how do you know if you're interpreting them correctly? Or things like that. And to me, that detail is not what should matter to you at all. So the way I interpret my dreams, I'm not telling you to do it this way, but the way I interpret my dreams is by feeling. So what feels right to me, I pay attention to the way I feel in my dreams, and I pay attention to keywords in my dreams, and I try and follow those keywords up with things. So for example, if I dream about a crystal, and I've dreamt about different crystal stones a couple of times actually, so I might dream about a crystal, and I have these like references. I call them my reference guides, let's say. So if I dream about a crystal, I will look it up in this book, which is amazing. So Love is in the Earth, a kaleidoscope of crystals. So that's this, it's a huge book. So I might just give you an example. So the stone that I picked for this artwork was the desert rose, and another name for it is a selenite rose, because it is made, it's like a crystallized gypsum. Let me get my desert rose crystal so I can show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've got two over here, and they actually look like little roses. Can you see that? Why are you not focusing? See, they look so cool. They look like little flowers. Okay, so they're desert rose crystals. And so the book says about them. So I just put a little tab on the paragraph that I'm going to read. I'm not going to read the whole page. So, and this has relevance to the dream, which is what I was going to get to later, but I think now's a good time because I'm telling you how exactly I sort of interpret my dreams. So, so the selenite crystal, it has been used to decrease reticence. I'm not sure what that word means. I need to look it up. Reticence, and to assist one in the acquisition of materialistic pursuits related to business. It can also assist one in issues of judgment and can provide the required insight and ameliorative energies to promote justice during adjudication of disputes. It has been used as a sharp sword of awareness, cutting through unconscious assumptions and promoting the reconnection between the conscious self and the mystic which lives within the superconscious. How insane is that? And it's so relevant to the dream. So, and like I said, so I randomly just picked a crystal without knowing what they mean or anything. And how cool is it that you can pick something, look up what it means, and it has such relevance to the thing that you're dealing with at the moment, or the dream, or whatever it is. There's no way of picking the wrong crystal. Whatever happens for reasons. So everything that comes into our path for us to learn something from it. And if you believe that you keep picking the wrong crystal, then you are making that a thing in your life. But if you believe that whatever it is you're picking, and you have that faith above reason, that it's something you're meant to pay attention to, and you just go with it, you're gonna learn so much more from it. Sometimes it's good to just let go and allow yourself to, you know, think the way you think, or experience things the way you experience. So I picked the desert rose, and in all fairness, I only looked up what the desert rose is today. So I put this tab in the book today because I wanted to give you an example of how I would look for what it means. But I'm only looking this up today because I was gonna, after this live stream, write a detailed blog post about each aspect of the artwork, and I just got like a tingle in my finger. I was gonna, yeah, so detail all that in later. So, radio. So that's what I do. So there might be things that, so if I dream of a crystal, then I use this to see, okay, well, what does that crystal mean to me? If I dream about a herb, I've got this super cool, amazing book called the Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. So you can look into the different herbs and what they mean to you and how you can use them to maybe help you with something. I also have this quick little reference one which I can use for herbs, flowers, and elements, and crystals. And then this one which I got recently, which is amazing, is the metaphysical anatomy. So if you have some sort of pain in your body or some sort of disease or whatever, you can look it up in here and find out what it means metaphysically, what it is that you need to deal with. So that book's insane. So you might dream of something where you get hurt in a particular part of your body, or you have stomach pain, or whatever you dream of. It might just be something your body is trying to tell you something, and the way to approach something that your body's trying to tell you is to figure out what the deeper root of the problem is, so that you can change the outcome of it. You can change, or you can get rid of the pain or the problem because you've gone to the deeper spiritual root of what the cause of the problem is. So that book is like super insanely cool. So these are great books that I tend to go to if I'm having a dream and I'm a little bit unsure of what it's trying to tell me, or why these elements in the dream are popping up in my dream. So there isn't a like specific element that popped up in this dream, except the thing that did happen in this dream is the name of the girl. The girl's name is a name that I've never heard of before. Let's just get that out the way for a second. So I've never heard the name Maskarovka, but I remembered it as I woke up. I was like, I have to write that name down. That is her name. Her name is Maskarovka. So I looked up Maskarovka, like what does Maskarovka mean? And it turns out that it's a Russian word, and it means to mask, disguise, or camouflage. So that's what it means. So I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy that's what it means. It's and that's what her name is. So it gives a lot of symbol to the dream just by figuring out that part of it. So it's like, okay, well, something is hidden, or we tend to mask ourselves or camouflage ourselves because we're afraid of showing our truth to other people because of judgment or whatever it can be. So that's something we all face, and I think that might be an important thing. And in the whole general scope of the dream, you've got this little girl who has a family. She has an aunt, and she has a friend of an aunt that's with her. That's her family. But now all of a sudden she's getting adopted by another family. So she's, it's like, can she be herself with the one family and not with the other one? Or, why is she going from one family to another one? And then there's another beauty in that, in the sense that we do that. That's what we do as we grow up. We create friendships and connections with other people, which become our new families. We get adopted into those families because they are a family or a unit that we connect to more than our physical families, our blood related families, for instance. So I thought that was quite a beautiful message in the dream as well. Okay, so I did write some notes about it over here. Okay, the three women. I love this part. So the three women, to me, because they were different ages, but they were so close to each other, they were like sisters in how close they were to each other. So I immediately thought of the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So they are also known as the triple moon. So you've got the waxing, the full, and the waning moon. So the waxing moon is representative of the maiden, the full moon of the mother, and the waning moon of the crone. So the maiden, the waxing moon, also associated with the seasons of spring and summer, is a symbol of birth, of inception, the promise of new beginnings, youth, carefree nature, and purity. So you can call on the maiden goddess for new love, new friendships, wealth, and health. Okay. Then you have the mother. So the mother is a symbol of the full moon and summer, early fall. Finally, the crone, which is the waning moon, and who's more part of the winter season, is a symbol of wisdom, life experience, and awakening. And you can call on the crone for knowledge, dealing with grief, wisdom, and power. So those are three very, very strong things, very strong factors. So whether you sort of, okay, just hold on, let me back up a little bit. Wow, so Lundy says dreams are incredibly remarkable. I woke up at 3 a.m. one week ago after a dream I had, and it's as if the universe just clicked. And now I'm busy fixing a 33-year-old problem I've had. Wow. Yeah, see, that's amazing. So it's almost like sometimes you are forced to deal with your shadows so that you can have a better life, that you can pass through it and you can claim that love for it and move past it. But you know, it's something that will linger until you actually face it. So, and whether it be a dream or something else that brings you to that, I feel like the book that we're doing now in book club is like really forcing us to do that. So yeah, it's insane. It's not a problem as much as an eating deficiency. You know, you should totally get into this book, Blondie. We are going through all of this stuff right now, and the fact that you had that dream a week ago is a bit funny. Please message me on Facebook after this, okay? I'll have a chat with you. Esme says, I've noticed I have recurring pregnancy dreams after being on art block for months. I searched it and it means that I just have a need to create, and it's like my subconscious is saying, hey, go draw. Yes, Esme, that's exactly right. So the whole aspect of new birth and creating or creation of life or whatever can definitely mean, especially if you're having that block and not knowing what to create, then I think that is saying that that's what you need, definitely. Yeah, so the stone, it's called a desert rose, but it is a selenite stone. But another name for it is a desert rose because of the way it looks. Hi, Ryan. Is that how you say it? I think I know who you are. Okay. So that was, so when it comes to interpreting my dreams, I tend to go by the way it makes me feel and what feels right for me. So I will sometimes, I'll go on Google and look up dream meanings of something, just to maybe have a wider scope of what it is. And there will be aspects of it that I feel very drawn to, and I'm like, okay, yes, I that's right, I feel that. And there'll be aspects of the dream, the websites or the dream meanings where I'll be like, no, that's not quite right. But there'll be parts of it that are, and that's okay. Like, you draw from it what feels right for you, and you take the information that you feel you're gonna use, or you feel that is giving you some sort of guidance. So there's no particular right way to do it. It could be, you know, dreams could be things that you need to face right now. It could be things that are coming up in your subconscious and you're unaware of it, and it's bringing it out so that you can become aware of it. It could be any number of things. It depends on who you are and what information you're getting. Sometimes people actually see things that happen and they realize later on. I have a friend, Jo, and she has a knack of dreaming about future events, but she only recognizes them when they happen, almost like deja vu, but not quite. But she'll remember every detail of that part of it happening as it happens. And she actually had an experience like that when she came to visit me a couple of weeks ago. So it's really cool. We all have these different things and different ways of it guiding us. So it just depends on how we use it and what feels right for us. So yeah. Hey. Sunbathe. Okay. Landy said, I'd love to get the Moonology book as well as the current one. You're busy with. Time for me to go do some research. Yes. So the one I'm busy with now is this one. And it's called A Course in Weight Loss by Marianne Williamson. And it's 21 spiritual lessons for surrendering your weight forever. So it's, I'll read a quick quote in here that's just explains to you that it's not about food. So yeah, she says, the weight you are seeking to let go of was added to your consciousness before it was added to your body. Your body is merely a screen onto which is projected the nature of your thoughts. The weight on your mind and thus on your body is the weight of your own emotional shadows that have not yet had light shone on them, whether they be unprocessed feelings, negative thoughts, or fear-based attitudes and personality traits. They are no different from the shadows that other people have. Painful experiences are not meant to linger. They are meant to teach us what they need to teach us and then dissolve into the realm of soft focus memory. So that wasn't the quote I wanted to read, but I love that. Those words are so insane. Yeah. So this course is not about food, but about spirituality. The quest for a power that is greater than your own. It is not about your addiction, but about a force that is more powerful than your addiction. Our purpose is not to analyze your darkness, but to turn on a light that, having been trapped within you, is now ready to blaze forth. So, yeah, this book is insane. Like, I've been tabbing all my favorite quotes, and it's just, this is just 3 chapters, and it's like, I want to read some of these quotes every single day. It's like crazy. And I have a love heart on one of these. I love this quote so much. It says, the physical eye perceives only physical reality, and physical reality itself is but a dream of the mortal mind. Your spiritual eye extends your perception to the spiritual reality beyond the material world. It's like, wow. There's just so much amazingness in this book that it totally shifts your perspective of things. Instead of it all being about this physical and, it's like understanding why you go for food at the time you go for food. I'm really bad. I eat really well, but I eat so much food sometimes. I'm getting better at it now, especially with this book, but I do have times where I just overeat until I feel sick. And my problem is at nighttime. During the day, I'm pretty good, but at night, I just want to eat and eat and eat. So this book is helping me realize why I'm doing that and how to shift a couple of things in my perspective. Anyways, we're not going to carry on with that. That's what Book Club is for. Moving on. Esme says, I never know who the father is in my dreams. It makes sense that it's coming off as that when I don't know what's wrong or why I have art block. So interesting. Yeah. Gail says, I've had dreams about things that then happen a bit later, like knowing someone is newly pregnant, even before the person knows herself. That's so cool. Landy says, yes, I've had those deja vu dreams often. Robin says, I see faces and everything when I close my eyes, carpets, walls. Oh, wow. So you're used to it. Part of your spiritual work. Yes. Gail's asking, has anyone had a waking dream? I have. It's amazing. What do you mean by waking dream? Just clarify. I have an idea in my head, but if you can tell me what you think about a waking dream. Hey, Wicked! Nice to see you. So it's just dropping in to say hi. I have an overdue work I must finish before I fall asleep. But keep joining live streams today. So hi and bye everyone. Hey Wicked. Yeah, go whenever you need to, but thanks for saying hi. Okay, let's have my now cold coffee. Okay, so that was the Mother, the Maiden, and the Crone. What I love about them is that they're so beautiful, and it's aspects within you or around you that you can call on at any time. So if you you know, there'll be times with the maiden where you feel like you're so stuck in a rut and you're so worried and stressed about everything. You just want to have some of that carefree energy where you aren't worried about things. You're just enjoying life. You're young, you're vibrant, you've got that energy. You want to draw from that. Then that might be something that you might ask from a maiden goddess. Now there's a couple of them out there. You can look excuse me, you can look them up and then just find out what you're drawn to, or just even just you can just say, you know, in your mind, you could just ask a maiden goddess or energy to help give you that, or ask for it, or way to find it, or, you know, bring that into your life. Or the Mother, you know, I feel very, very drawn to the Mother, and you can ask her to also, you know, help you with various things, love, health, beauty, fertility, whatever. You can, they're always there for you to call upon when you need them. So this was almost just like a way for me to almost put them into an artwork, something that I enjoy looking at. It's so beautiful. I love the colors, I love the way it looks and feels, and it's something I feel like I can call upon. It's almost because you put that physical energy into something, you're putting that thought into something, that positive energy into something, you give it a sense of power, and that power is something you can use to uplift yourself, or, you know, it's almost like a I don't know, like a string, an extra string of strong connection, and you can just tug on that string and be like, help me out a little bit, please. The Crone as well, I think I've also called upon the Crone, and it's funny because the other day, it was so cool. I had this crazy strong urge to ask my grandmother on my mom's side about my great-grandmother, Oma Nella. And I just wanted to know more about her. I felt like I didn't know much about her, and I didn't know anything about her really. And so she told me about her, and so she was the youngest of 8 children, and her name was Petronella, and she was such a beautiful, beautiful woman. I've got a photo. She found a photo for me, so I have to show you this photo. It's like insane. And I don't know why, but I just had this crazy strong urge to just ask about her. Now, I'm really hoping you're going to be able to see this. So let's see if I move that like that. Can you see that? Sort of. I should really just put it on OBS properly. And then there's, so she liked to play tennis. And then here's her with my great-grandfather. And that's my great-grandfather. How cool does he look? I might just put these photos in the blog post. Maybe I'll just add them in there too. So, yeah, so I had this really strong urge to ask about her. And I'm not sure why yet. I think maybe it was more for my grandmother than it was for me, because it's almost like my grandmother felt like it was good to talk about her mother in that way, because she didn't feel as close to her mother as she would have liked to. And so I think talking about her mother this way may have just healed something within her. And I thought I never met my great-grandmother before, but I did. I realized, because I spoke to my mom, and I remember when I was a little girl, I think I was 8 or 9 years old, we went on a trip to Cape Town, and mom was showing me the boarding school that she was staying in, and then we went to go visit this lady in an old age home, and it was Omanella. So I only realized this when I was talking to my mom. I'm like, Mom, didn't I meet her? I swear I met her. She only had one leg, and she gave me candy, like she gave me sweets, and we went to visit. I remember the room and everything. I was like, was that for real? Did that actually happen? And she's like, oh my God, yes, I did take you to meet her. And my poor great grandmother, so she got gangrene in the one leg, so she had to lose the leg. And then it spread to the other leg a little bit after the time that I actually met her. And then she had that leg removed, and then I guess her body couldn't deal with that, so she passed away. But I realized that I actually met her, and it was like that feeling or that rush, and I'm getting it back to me now, but like it's so profound how things like this just pop up. Oh my goodness. It's profound how things like this pop up out of the blue. And it's like, well, why is this happening now? There's clearly something there. I'm just making my eyes. Sorry about that. So there again, so there's a strength in that feeling or that connection, because I just had that overwhelming rush of emotion just there. It's like, why do these things happen? Why are they? So I feel like I'm becoming very drawn to the female generations in my family, and I'm also becoming closer to my grandmother as well. My grandmother, I got to tell you this story, and so much is coming out in this video that I didn't expect, but it is pretty relevant to the drawing, I think. But in terms of the crone, so my grandmother, I think I was 5, 6, and 7 years old when I was living with my grandmother and my grandfather. And my grandmother, she was a very strict woman, very, very strict woman. And I felt like I could never please her. Like I felt like she, you know, I could never do anything right, and I always had to do exactly as I was supposed to do. And my grandfather was different. Like with him, we could have more fun. He would always give us things to play with. Like he'd give us blocks from his workshop, like these wooden blocks, and I'd always have crayons and stuff. And my brother and I were never allowed to play with each other in the house. The only time we got to play with each other was when we were outside. And when we were in the house, he was never allowed in my room, and I was never allowed in his room. So we couldn't really be kids, you know. So when I was in my room, which I spent a lot of time in my room, I felt quite bored. And I remember I had a 1,000-piece puzzle. A 1,000-piece puzzle at that age, or maybe it was a 100-piece puzzle, but to me it felt like a 1,000-piece puzzle. It could have been a 100-piece puzzle, because I mean, far out, I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So it must have been a 100-piece puzzle, surely not a 1,000-piece puzzle. Anyways, I would build this puzzle so many times over, and it was of these totem poles and these Anzac-like pyramids in the forest and things like that. I can still remember what it looks like. And I built this puzzle, and then the one day I was like, oh, well, I'm sick of building this puzzle. I want to do something else. And I got these scraps of paper, and I created these little sailboats. And I 3 sailboats, and each sail had its own design and set of colors. And I stuck them flat, and I created this on my own. And I went to go show my grandmother these sailboats. And it was the first time I got like this insane recognition from her. She was so happy, and she was like, wow, that's amazing. And she was so proud of me for creating these sailboats. And I was so happy that I could please her, and that she was so glad that I created this all on my own and that I did this. So since then, I think that's when my creativity really started, because I felt like that me being creative is going to bring that love and that excitement out of somebody. And that is my first memory of being creative, and I'm pretty sure that's where it started, and that's where this insane drive to really draw people in as a community through art began. But anyway, so these features have been coming up lately. Since this drawing, a lot of these things have been coming up. The maiden thing, I finally started getting to a point where I don't know if I want to say this on YouTube, but I'm going to say it. So I have been, up until March this year, I've been pretty adamant that I would be okay to never have kids. I didn't want kids. I didn't want any for the rest of my life. I was quite happy with the lifestyle that we have. Our dogs are our kids, and that was that. And then I had this crazy shift where it completely changed, and now I do. So I think I really connected with the maiden in that sense, because I felt like that is, I went from not being ready to being ready, and then the mother, and then connecting with the crone, and it's just like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I know if it seems to you like I might be like really babbling on, but these things have been coming up, and this artwork is just there to show me that it's there. And you can call upon the maiden, the mother, the crone anytime, and all three of them can have a great deal to do with you at whatever given time. All right, let's see some stuff that you guys are typing. So I asked Gail what she thought about what a waking dream is. She says, well, it's different. You know you are dreaming, and everything is so much clearer and brighter, aka lucid dreaming. Oh, so you know you're dreaming. Have you ever had the dreams where you know you're dreaming? Is that what you're saying? Yes. I have had dreams where I know that I'm dreaming. And that I am able to protect myself. So it's funny, because most of the dreams that I've had where I know that I'm dreaming, I'm in danger. And then when I realize that I'm dreaming, I'm not fearful anymore, because I realize that it's a dream. So the danger is eliminated, because I have the power to not be in danger anymore. But yeah, those are cool. I think the worst kind of dream I've had, I don't know if they call it a paralysis dream, but you're dreaming and you're trying to wake up and you cannot wake up. I hate those dreams. I've had them a couple of times where I dream that I'm waking up and I'm doing my thing, and then I feel this energy, this darkness, and then I'm like, I realize that I'm still not awake. And then I try and wake myself up, and I dream of myself waking up, but I'm not waking up. I'm still dreaming of myself waking up, and I just get caught in this rut until eventually I wake up. And then I'm so grateful for waking up, because I feel like I would have been stuck there forever. Like I would pinch myself. I would try and, make myself fall out of bed. But instead, I'm dreaming of myself doing that, and my body's not actually doing that and waking me up for real. So those are the worst dreams. I haven't had one like that in a long time, so I'm hoping I don't again, because it's not a nice way to dream. Yeah, Esme says, oh my gosh, she looks like a Hollywood star, doesn't she? My great-grandmother, she's so beautiful. I'm totally gonna, I'll post a photo on Instagram, actually, and brag about how beautiful she is. But no, she's stunning. She's stunning. Hey, Brenda. Yeah, she gave me candy. Oh, and that's another thing. So my mom told me that that's how she knew her grandmother. So she says her grandmother would literally have my mom and her two sisters next to her. That's funny, because my mom, they 3 sisters. That's no brothers or anything, just 3 sisters, and my mom's the eldest. Anyway, so my great-grandmother would have the 3 of them sitting there, and she'd give them sweets one by one by one, and then one by one by one. So they always knew am I not allowed to be the one to give them candy? So it's cool that I have a memory of her giving me candy as well. The only memory I have of her. I think I only met her that one time. Sandra says, dealing with ancestors can sometimes be very moving because, thank you. I know, isn't it weird, like that total rush of emotion that you get? And it's something I appreciate. It's not something, I know I said sorry, but I'm not sorry. I do appreciate getting those feelings because I feel like I'm feeling it. I'm allowing myself to feel it. And the fact that I'm getting that strong sense of emotion to me is almost a way of it being like, well, I'm talking about her right now. And I'm getting that strong sense of emotion. So I feel like she's here. That is what it is. I feel like she's here and she's enjoying this with us and that we're sharing something about her. So it's a beautiful thing. So it's almost like a sign that, yep, she's here. Esme says, it makes sense and it's really encouraging actually to see how these things are manifesting for you. Thanks, Esme. So yes, these new artworks and stuff, the way they're coming about and me explaining it in this way is, it's a lot of it's personal experience. So, but the only way for me to explain it is to give you the personal experience or share the personal experience, which I'm willing to do. Like I'm not shy about things. I'm happy to share. I'm not one of those people that have anything that I really want to hide. I know that I just don't want to get to the point because especially on YouTube, there are a lot of trolls out there. So I just don't want the negative energy. I don't want that to be a part of things that I'm manifesting. But I know that I usually protect myself with a bubble or whatever before I start these things. And everyone in the chat's been insanely amazing. So I think the energy that you're bringing to this channel as well is what's protecting it and looking after it for me. So when I get into like this vulnerable state of being so open, it's okay because I have you guys, and I know you guys are sort of like my backup plan, my protective backup bubble. If that makes sense. Okay. Esme says, did you intentionally give your drawing girl, the older version, the hairstyle she has? The girl with the mask on? It looked like your great grandma's hairstyle. Did it? She had like a little pathway and then just like really bushy hair. She's so pretty. So pretty. Yeah. The maiden almost looks like she has a bit like that. But Esme says, we protect you. Yes, you do. Thank you. With the purple hair. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. That's so cool. Okay. Where was I at now? Okay, carrying on with the dream. Coffee. Radio. So the young girl Maskarovka. So Maskarovka is a Russian word and means to mask, disguise, or camouflage. So I'm just reading some notes. A word I've never heard before, but dreamt of it as the name of the little girl. So young children, especially those aged between 1 and 3, seem to have a very strong sixth sense. They tend to pick up on spirits around them, whether they see them or hear them or get a very strong feeling of something there. My sister-in-law's 2-year-old daughter has been caught numerous times talking to seemingly no one. When asked, she would say things like, I'm talking to the purple lady or the pink lady. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that Spirit speaks to her through colors. It's also so easy for parents to dismiss the notion by thinking that they have overactive imaginations or they've just been watching too much TV. Kids then grow up thinking it's wrong or bad, and their intuitive connections begin to become suppressed or forgotten. In the case of this dream, the girl, what she means in the dream, and I don't know if any of you have experienced that with like young kids. They seem to just have a much wider notion about someone or something being there, and this my sister-in-law's little girl, so they came to visit recently. I'm not going to say any names, but her little girl, she's got such an energy about her. Like, she's full on energy, and she likes to talk. She's very vocal and everything. Don't bark, please. She's very vocal, and they were telling us that they see her sometimes she's having the biggest conversation, not with herself, with someone in the room. And they would ask her who she's talking to, and she'll say, I'm talking to the pink lady, or she says, I'm talking to the purple lady. And then she'll ignore parents and she'll carry on talking to whoever she's talking to. And I was like, that's insane. That's so cool. The fact that, so she can see the color and she knows the colors, which is great. And so there's something with the color that she's associating with. The energy in the color is something that, and that it's a lady, like she knows it's a lady. So like when they ask her to describe, she just says lady. So not anything in particular, but she just, I don't know if it's a feeling that she gets that it's a feminine energy, or if it's or if it looks like one, I'm not sure. But I was like, that's so cool. And to me, I would take a lot more from that, and I would want to encourage that sort of thing so that they can develop that intuition and that sense of these things, and not, whereas other family would be like, oh no, that's not good, or it's like, or they think they have an overactive imagination. It's just like these things get ignored and suppressed as if they're nothing. And then as kids get older, they begin to realize that it's not something people are comfortable with talking about or discussing. And when they realize that, they start losing that connection with it, because they don't want to have that connection, because they freaks, or it's weird, or it's just not something they should be doing. So I think a lot of kids go through that. When I was a little girl, I don't remember anything like that. I did have one experience. I think I was also around the age of 8 or 9, maybe even. I don't even think that really correlates to it though. Where I thought I think I experienced a ghost for the first time. So we went to go visit this farm. It was an old farm, I swear. It was like, it was built in the 1800s. Like, it was very, very old, this homestead and stuff. And I stayed in one of the rooms of one of the daughters, and I had this woman standing over me. And it was scary. I was scared out of my mind. But she looked like she had one of those like big bonnet things on her head, and a black outfit. And she was in my face. Like, I felt like she was right here. And I don't know if I could see her, or if I just sort of knew or pictured what she looked like, but that's what I got in my mind. And I couldn't sleep because I just had this energy here the whole time. And then the next night, I told my mom, I'm not sleeping in that room. I can't sleep in that room. There's something in that room. I'm going to sleep by you on the ground. Just please don't let me sleep in that room. So I remember having that thing. Yeah, that was kind of off topic. That wasn't my point. But I have noticed that kids will have these experiences, and then they'll just be dismissed, and then nothing can really grow from it. And then maybe later on, as we get older, like now, I'm only now, the last year or so, becoming in tune, a bit more in tune with those things, where I'm paying attention or I'm listening. Like something will happen in the day, or I will see something, whether it be an insect or I would dream something, and I will pay attention to what it is and be like, okay, well, let me try and just sit for a minute and figure this out, see what it is that I'm feeling or experiencing, and just like, you know, take it in. So that's what the girl means in the dream. The mask is that she masks these things, and she does it because she's afraid of what others might think. And what I liked about the dream is that I forgot her name, which means that I didn't see, her mask wasn't there. Because I forgot her name, her mask wasn't there. So in this new environment, she's able to be who she really is. But when she's out of the environment, she feels like she needs to mask who she really is. In a sense, I feel like I really connect to her, because I've had that. Whereas now I'm in the environment where I'm starting to connect with these things and becoming who I'm really feeling I am, because I'm following things that I'm feeling and I'm listening. And now I'm feeling like I'm having more of those moments with the mask off than I am with it on. Before making these changes, I've always had it on. So I really feel like I can connect to her. In the artwork as well, you can see that one of her wings are being pulled down. And the symbol on the arm is just... So the symbol on the arm just shows like it's a controlling power. That's what that symbol is. It's a controlling power that is holding her back. So the controlling power that, you know, we have in the media, and we have, you know, with the banks and whatever. I'm not going to get into that stuff. But those things are what form society's beliefs and what's made them so conditioned into what they believe nowadays. So, you know, in the media you hear things, and most of the older generations believe everything in the news because it's the news. So it's supposed to be the truth. It's supposed to tell you everything the way it is, but it doesn't. We manipulated so much by the truth, and that hand pulling that wing down is, as we grow up, we faced with all these things, and we are held back from flying and from soaring, because there's constantly something that wants to pull us down, because they don't want us to know these things about ourselves or connect the way we're supposed to connect with our other parts of our souls in the world, you know. So it's so that's what the pulling of the wing means. And then let's read some comments. Ryan says, I think it's lovely that you're willing to share such vulnerable moments. Thank you so much. Esme says, maybe the fluffiness reminds me of the hairstyle. It does. I get what you're saying. I do. I get what you say. Robin says, children have no fear. No, they don't. They don't, because there's nothing to fear. We build that fear up within ourselves. You know, we immobilize ourselves by creating that fear within us, or by others helping create that fear within us. So children don't have that. They're not afraid of the dark or afraid of anything until you start making them afraid, or you start, you know, there's things out there that show them that, oh no, if I can't see with my eyes and it's completely dark, maybe there's something there, you know. Kids do get a sense, like it's different. Sometimes kids will sense something that doesn't feel quite right, and that will give them a sense of fear because they're getting that feeling of something there. And with me, when I have kids one day, I think I'm going to be very, very open to hearing these things. If they feel something or see something, and that I totally believe them. Like I will. If my child has to tell me that I saw a person or whatever, I'd be like, okay, well, let's figure out what that means. Who is this person? Why is this energy here? Do we need to ask it for something or whatever it is. I would totally build up on it and help my child figure it out instead of being like, oh, don't be silly, there's nothing there, sort of thing. Esme says, I have had that happen when I was 6 or 7. My mom said I was talking to someone and I just said, I'm swinging the little boy. I don't remember it now. Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. And I bet you, like, to someone else who's conditioned the way society conditions us, blah, 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 for them to hear that, it will spark a sense of fear within them and be like, did you just push a ghost on a swing? You know, it will spark a sense of fear. But for you, probably as a child, you enjoy having fun and feeling, you know, happy and enjoying the moment doing that. And then, you know, to you, that's what's important. That feeling, if you feel fine, you feel happy, you're not afraid, then that's what's important. Not the fact that someone might be thinking of it in a fearful way as a ghost. Why do you have a ghost haunting you, or whatever the case may be? You know, there is a beauty about it. It's just the way you see it. And then the minute you have that fearful response, you're going to give that to your child as well. So it's not, you know, it's like, it's a tricky one. Robin says, we just had a shaman coming to my girlfriend's daughter's house because their son was so upset about a man lying on the couch. Turns out it was my girlfriend's brother who passed on. I got chills all throughout my body. Oh my gosh. Wow. How cool is that? And you see, there, you're not dismissing the idea. You're not dismissing, she wasn't dismissing her son, which I think is such a beautiful thing. She was like, okay, well, let's do something about it. Let's figure it out, you know? And then also I think sometimes once you come to the realization of what it is, then the fear is evaporated. So once they, I don't know this, but I'm assuming that once they realized what that energy was, it was easier to not feel like a sense of retaliation or fear from it. You could just be like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then also sometimes, you know, there might be a lingering spirit which needs that extra bit of help to move on. And then it gives you the opportunity, you're aware of them, and you can be like, okay, well, let's get you past here. You know, you've fulfilled your purpose here. What is there anything else you need to fulfill? And if there is, sort of help them out, but also allow them to let go of the reality. I heard somewhere that spirits tend to linger when they're attached to something tangible in this world, and sometimes they just need the realization that the tangible is just that. It's just an object, and it's not something that will give you any sense of fulfillment. It's going to pass from the physical world, and you need to pass from it. And then they just need that extra guidance to move on from it. So, yeah, it's fascinating. I love hearing these stories. You guys are entertaining me so much. It's so cool. Gail says her son had experiences like that when he was 4 to 6. Amazing. Robin says, yeah, I wish that elders would be more sensitive to it. It's a special gift. It is. Sandra was going to say that. I was going to say that the girl represents you. Thanks, Sandra. Isn't it cool that I feel like I can relate to every aspect of this artwork? The maiden, the mother, the crone, and the girl. Like, every aspect of it, it's like, be drawn to it in different times. You know, I might come back to this artwork 2 years from now and be like, I really need this. You know, I need to know something from it, or need that extra bit of like help. Iran says, what do you think it means when you have a scary dream many times? Maybe not nights in a row, but just every now and again, the same thing. So having scary dreams. So I might give you an example. I don't know if this is going to help, and hopefully I don't cry. About a scary dream that I had, but my mother helped me realize that it was not a scary dream. Actually, it was a beautiful dream. So I dreamt the one day that I was in the park and I had Honey and Taylor with me, and I didn't have them on the lead and they ran off. So I had to go and find them. And then I ran into my dad. He was walking as well. And I was like, can you help me find the dogs? I don't know where they are. So he was like, okay. So he helped me look for them, and we found them. And there was this like pit in the ground that had all this coal and stones and stuff. And they had jumped in there. And I was like, oh my God, they need to get out. So I called them to get out. Taylor managed to get out, but Honey didn't. Honey instead went right underneath. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to suffocate. So my dad jumped in to try and find her. And he did. But when he pulled her out, she was all bloated and dead. And I was like, oh my God, bring her out, bring her out. So he got her out. And I started resuscitating her, but I knew within me that I would resuscitate her. I would revive her. And I just believed it. I was like, I will revive you, you'll be fine. And I did. I revived her, she started breathing, she jumped up, she was fine. And I woke up and I felt it was horrible. Like that feeling that I was like, oh, she could have been dead. Oh, I need to tell you the first part of the dream. How can I forget this? So the first part of the dream was I was in a forest, and there was this massive, massive giant tree, which I absolutely needed to talk to. I needed to talk to the tree. So I stood in front of the tree, and I wanted to ask it a question. But before I could ask it a question, I started sinking into the ground. And I'm sinking into the ground, and I'm like, I'm going to suffocate. I'm about to die. And I realized this, and I was ready. I was like excited. I become excited because I know that I don't fear death. Like, I'm pretty happy. Like, if my time comes, I'm excited to see what's next, you know. So I'm not afraid to die. And I have that almost, I think I will easily let go of this physical world if I had to die. And it sounds a bit weird. I'm very happy. It's not like I want to die or anything like that. So don't get that impression. But anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm going to die. It's probably not going to feel nice suffocating, but when it's over, it's over. But I didn't suffocate, and I could breathe, and I fell through the ground, and I landed in a classroom. There were 3 other students in the classroom with me, and I looked out the window of the classroom, and there was the Walking Dead. So they looked like normal people walking around normally, but I knew that they were dead. Okay, but the kids and the other 3 people in the classroom with me were not. Okay. Then the second part of that dream was that part with Honey and Taylor, and then I revived her. But when I woke up, it's such a horrible feeling, because when you dream of someone dying or seeing that, just seeing her, the way she looked was just like, it's a horrible thing. It's not something that you want to see or experience. So I called my mom the next day, and I said, I can't shake this feeling. I hate the dream that I had. What if something happens to her? You know, so I had that. I was like, maybe this is something's going to happen to her. So what do I do? And my mom said, you're being stupid. It's an amazing dream. It's an amazing dream. She said, what you need to realize is that you knew for a fact that you were going to revive her, and you did. You had that knowing, that faith above reason, that just believing in yourself so much that you would revive your dog, and you did. And she says, you're so okay with you passing, but you're not okay with someone else passing, whether it be a pet or whatever it is. She says, and that's not very fair. She says, you need to be here, and you were there to revive her, and maybe the whole purpose of you being there was so that she could live longer. You know, so my mom just made me see it in a complete different light. So sometimes you need to, if you have a terrible dream, try and look at it objectively, and be like, try and look at it from someone standing on the outside, looking in. So my mom saw something else that I couldn't see because I was overwhelmed by emotion. The intense emotion of it is what blocked me from seeing it in a different way. So sometimes you just need that change. So break it down and try and look at it outside, from the outside, and see maybe there's a different message in there that is not a scary message, but something else that's a lot more powerful. Apartment, and later when I moved into our house, he told me that a man was sleeping in his bed. That's why he came to my bed or slept on the floor. I had a psychic tell me that my son played with a little girl. I had not said a word to her about that. Wow. So that's insane. So I don't think any of this stuff is something to fear. It's just, you're connected to it in a sense. You're aware of it. So you becoming aware of something like that is your psychic abilities that are making you aware. So when you have that awareness, it's a gift. So you're like, oh, okay, so I've been given this awareness. So what am I going to do with it? And look at it in, you know, a positive way. It doesn't have to be something scary, because we scare ourselves. So we're like, oh, my child thinks there's someone in the room. And then we start thinking these things in our minds, and we scare ourselves, when it shouldn't be like that. All you have to do is feel it. Try and feel what you're feeling, the truth of what you're feeling, not what your ego mind is trying to make you feel, but the truth of what you're feeling, and then try and work out how you can fix the situation. Gail says, of course you can relate to the artwork, Sheldine. It's your artwork. That's right. I know. But I'm also hoping that other people can relate to this, or that other people can see the message in this. It doesn't necessarily have to be for me. It is for me. It come about at that time for me when I needed it, and sometimes I still feel that need for it. But I'm hoping that this artwork could also be something that someone else can look at and be reminded of aspects that might inspire them. And that's what I'm enjoying so much about this change, because if you look at all my old YouTube videos, it was just about teaching how to draw, whereas this is so much more. Okay, Karen says, it isn't the unknown as much as it is the knowing the truth about the world we live in, sadly. That's right. Yeah. Lundy says, my niece used to talk to a nice old man in our previous house. We suspect it might have been my grandfather. How cool is that? Gail says, my son, age 39 now, is a paranormal investigator and has his own internet radio show called Paranormal Soup. That is so cool. Oh my god, can you send me an email with all those details? Like, I'll check it out. That sounds so cool. Sandra says, I used to speak to my grandma who I never met, as she passed away before I was born. I described her to her fingernails. Mum said I was dreaming, but years later she admitted I had actually seen her. Wow. Robin says, when you dream of death, it means new life or new birth. Yes, that's it. And dreaming of death, because death doesn't actually exist. Yes, death of the physical body exists, but we'll be reborn into, well, I believe, take what you want from this, but I believe we have a physical life. We learn what it is we need to learn. And then if we need to have another experience to learn more, we'll be reincarnated into another physical form and learn what we need to learn. So there's no end to that. We are infinite. We are all one, actually. We're all connected. We are all part of one, the Creator. And it's finding those connections and getting back drawn to that, getting closer to that one thing that we're trying to do. And it's not going to take one lifetime to do it. You're going to need quite a few to get closer to it. And then the more you realize that the physical is so not important, the more you actually enjoy life, because you realize that, you know, this is just the skin I'm wearing temporarily until I learn my lesson, and then I might move on to another skin. But I am not my body. I am that is within my body. And dreaming of death could mean it's dreaming of something finishing so that something else can begin. And that's what that is. Awesome. So Irene says, wow, that's kind of cool. Thank you. I'll rethink it. Yeah, just a different way to look at it. Because sometimes if you have a bad dream, you can be so emotional about it that the emotional part of it really stops you from looking past something or seeing the bigger picture. That's so cool. Gail says, I stood in the middle of my house and said, okay, Frank, I think that's who it was. Stop scaring my son and me. Don't wake us up at night. This is our house now. And she says, and my son never mentioned the old man in his bed again, ever. That's it. Sometimes they don't realize that they're frightening you. And when you make them aware that they are interfering or they're scaring you, they won't do it, because I don't think the intention isn't there to scare you. The intent is not there to be harmful or scare you, unless you draw that in. So it's always good to protect your home and protect yourself. And when you do, things that might appear in your home will be things that are not harmful, just things that that are there, and you become aware of it, and if they frighten you, they'll move away, because that's not what they want to do. Oh cool, Gail's son is here. Hey. Robin says, I would like to know too, Shells, can you forward to me? Yeah, sure. So thanks, Gail, for the information. I'll forward it on to Robin as well. You can put it in the comments under this video once this video is done too. That'd be great. Esme says we graduate bodies. I love that. Yes, we do. We graduate bodies. Landy says, I've also had my fair share of not so nice spirits, but that's for a different year. I think that energy that I felt when I was a little girl on that farm was not a nice one, because I felt like I was being very restricted. Like it was so in my face and it was so heavy that it didn't feel good. So I don't think that was a positive energy, but I didn't have any understanding of it at the time. Irene says, I had 4 children and every time I was pregnant I dreamt of death. Oh, okay, that would be freaking scary. But yes, now that you understand that death actually means new life. So going from something old to something new, it might be easier. But yeah. So weird. Okay. Okay, so we went through the young girl, Maskarovka. We're now selling an idea. Okay, so there was that part of the dream that was about... Excuse me. We are going on for a really long time, but we are only going for a few more minutes, so we'll keep it at 2 hours. Okay, selling an idea. So the dream shows a friend who wanted advice from the 3 of us, which I am saying the mother, the maiden, and the crone, on whether or not she should sell her idea because it will make her a lot of money. So the way I see this, so within the context of the dream, government means a powerful force that I do not trust or understand enough to trust. So that's the feeling I have about the government. So that was what I was taking from the dream. So within the context of the dream, to me, government means a powerful force that I'm wary of. So the question is then, do I sell my idea to a force I do not trust just in the hope that I might get paid for it? Or another way to word it is, do I give away part of myself to a force I do not understand in the hope of something in return? And so I think the answer to this was because the friend asked us in the dream, she asked us for advice. So I'm saying that this is where she asks for advice from her guides. So whether your guide be an animal, a past loved one, a goddess, a deck of cards, the universe, whatever you feel drawn to, just ask. So I think that her question is there, and she's asking the 3 friends about it, and that's good. So that's like a starting point, because in the dream it doesn't actually give her an answer, but it shows you that she's asking for the guidance before she actually makes a move. Another way is it could also mean that it is the exchange of something important to you for money. Can also mean you are exchanging benevolence for egoistic growth. So these are things that we face all the time. Like, often in our lives we'll have like, well, I think the best example is so many people are working a day job that they hate doing, but the only reason they're doing it is for money, so that they can live, you know, because we all have bills to pay and we all have things that we have to do. And so we have this notion that it's okay to do these things, do things for money. So even you would take something of yourself that might be important to you, and you need the money, so you exchange it for money, but you don't get that fulfillment out of it because it's never going to be as important to someone else as it is to you. So really what you're exchanging is you're exchanging a part of yourself for something that may or may not give you something in return, and whatever it's giving you in return might only be something temporary. So then what the first idea that you may have given away or whatever is tainted by that, because the importance isn't there for someone else as what it is there for you. Does that make sense? Sort of makes sense. So that whole selling of the idea thing is it to me it means one of 2 things. Either it is that it's showing you that you can ask, and that you should ask if you want that extra guidance, and the answer will come to you if you listen. The other part of it is that sometimes when we exchange something for money, it's, especially if it's something that's important to us, it's exchanging benevolence for egoistic growth. So it's another not cool, but another aspect within the, and that's also another reason like that hand is pulling the wing down, is because how many times are we going to put ourselves in the position where we're being held back, because we're not sure what direction to take, or we're taking the direction we're told to take is the right direction when really it's not the right direction. Hey Peggy, welcome back. Okay, so that's that one. And then why I named the art The Seeker. So I think you guys can get it. So the little girl went from being with a family to being adopted by another family. She is masked by her name and has no sense of life direction. She, just like most of us, are seekers. Seekers of our purpose in the world, seekers of our identities, and seekers of love. So that is the gist of why I called this artwork The Seeker. And I love it. I love it so much. I wanted to turn it into a card, actually. So I thought it would look really cool to have the word The Seeker at the bottom, and then at the back of it maybe have like a small explanation of it. Just something that you can draw randomly and just read for inspiration. So I do have postcards like that. Why do I not have them right here? Do I? No, they're in the back room. But anyways, I have cards like that. I might actually put them on in my shop or something and send one out every month. I don't know. I'll have a look into that. But yes, so that's what that is. Robin says, turn your art into oracle cards. I know, you know, that's what Ellen, you know, Ellen Brenneman, she suggested that, and that'd be really cool, but you need like 56 cards to make up a deck. So maybe that will be my future. So 3-4 years from now, I might have enough. Oh, I will have enough to probably make a deck out of it. And yeah, so I think even this new moon artwork that I did would be one that would be like super cool to put in as a card. And oh yeah, so this is my beautiful little like journal, and this is the one where I put all my artworks in. So this was that one which you guys have seen before. So this was a fluke. So I think I'll do another video on this one. So this initial painting I started because of this dream, and then this pregnant woman was a fluke. So I'll explain that in another video, I think, because I can't believe that this one artwork, we're going 2 hours into this live stream, so it might be worth just doing another one. And then this is the one that you guys are seeing now. So yeah, the Seeker. So I just have this is so inspirational to me. And so you guys remember this one? So that's in my intro video on YouTube, because that's the one that finally got me started on wait, can you stop that? Thank you. It's the one that finally got me started, like gave me the confidence to start this change in my channel. And if you want to know about that one, that's in the intro video on my YouTube channel. This one I'm not going to talk about. But yeah, so this is how those artworks are going to go in here. This artwork's not going to go in there because I freaking love it so much. I'm definitely going to frame it. And I have a Society 6 shop. I'm gonna update that shop today and put the link in the description, but like I'm gonna put these prints on the Society 6 shop. And Society 6 is super cool because that way I don't have to deal with the postage or things like that, and you guys can select the sizes and whatever, and it gets sent to you. But anyways, and there's other things like phone cases and pillows and mats and whatever else that you can have these printed on. But I'll put the link to the Society 6 shop. I'm not putting any of my old stuff on there. It's going to be brand new. It's only going to have this new stuff in there, and you guys can check it out if you want and get a print if you want. This print, even though it has the original has the initials, you know, for me and Vinny in there, but I've taken them out for the print. So whoever's drawn to it could probably put their own initials in there, or just have it without anything in there. Esme says, oh my god, that's beautiful. Thank you. I know, I love it so much. Like, I want to remember this, like I did, this was a pan pastel tutorial that I decided to stick on here because it's actually a perfect image to have on the front of the book. And then yeah, when you open it, the first thing you open it into just is so colorful and so pretty, and I love it. This is it may as well be my diary. It's such a great book. Okay. Okay, I think we should call it quits because we've been going for 2 hours, and it's been an amazing, amazing live stream. Thank you guys so much. I'll do another one. Maybe I'll do one next week or the week after, where we'll actually, I reckon we'll go through this one. We'll go through this dream. It's all about the tree, actually. And it's funny how this happened. So we'll go through that one next time. And yes. Radio. So I'll create a blog post, a proper blog post for this this artwork, and so that what I've explained in this video is there if anyone wants to refer back to it at any time, whatever. And then I'll link it at the bottom of this video too. And then Gail will, in the comments, put the link to her son's stuff there, which will be awesome. And yeah, I had so much fun hanging out with you guys. This has been amazing. I'm really excited for the next one. Ooh, so tomorrow, there is such an amazing, like, she's my soul sister, I swear. And we've like connected in an instant. But her name's Samantha Menzo. And her channel is, I might just put it in the comments now real quick so that you can see her channel. So I can put a link in there, I'm pretty sure. So we're doing a live stream tomorrow morning. Actually, I'll put the link to the live in there. How's that? And then you can go to the comments and get her channel and everything from there. So there's the link to the live stream I'm doing tomorrow, and it's going to be an hour later than what this one started. So 10 a.m. my time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those in the US. And so the two of us are going to hang out. Sam, her channel has got a lot to do with tarot, and she loves, like, she's got a witchy book club and stuff like that. And the two of us are just like, we're so similar. It's actually quite weird. So we're doing a hangout tomorrow, and now she's been doing this for a very long time, and I'm going to get to ask her a lot of questions about, like, you know, about me starting this journey as new compared to someone who's been in this for a long time, and just like ask her a couple of questions. And I need to get 10 questions ready to ask her tomorrow, and she's going to do the same. And the two of us are just going to hang out, and we're going to talk about pretty much everything we've spoken about today. We're going to get into dreams, we're going to get into tarot, we're going to get into metaphysics and whatever else comes up at the time. So if you guys want to join us for another live, that'll be on my channel tomorrow, so you can see the link there. Make sure to select the notification bell if you want a notification for when I'm going live on YouTube. And then you can meet her. She's really, really great. I love her. She's so quirky and so funny. And yeah, so the two of us will be live tomorrow for that. Okie dokie. Thank you guys so much, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.